Hey Showiteers! It looks like Stacy Cokes had the same idea I had. She posted a video just recently about how she became a photographer. And it's something that I've been wanting to post all day long. I had a meeting this morning and a couple other things, so I couldn't get it up sooner. But I also wanted to share how I became a photographer because it's a little bit untraditional. It's not exactly the normal story. And I'm sure most of yours are probably untraditional too. I mean, the Showiteer community is full of amazing people who don't follow normal paths. So I would like to hear your story. My story, I never grew up thinking that I would be a photographer. It was not something that was on my radar as far as a wish list of, kids growing up wanting to be something when they grow up. And photography was not one of my wish lists. I actually thought I was going to be a nurse for a long time. I became a nurse's aide and worked in a nursing home for a couple of months and decided that it just wasn't for me. I'm a very petite person, and so I was having a lot of trouble doing things like lifting people in and out of wheelchairs, and it just didn't fit. And that was in high school when I was doing this, and I really didn't know what God wanted me to do, and so I did a lot of praying, and photography just opened up for me. It was actually pretty amazing. My dad worked with a couple who did wedding photography on weekends, and they found out that I enjoyed photography as a hobby, and they reached out to me and asked if I would like to shadow them to a couple of weddings that year. And so that's pretty amazing. I mean, that they would reach out to me and offer something that amazing. So I said yes. I thought it would be fun just to kind of see what they did and how things work. And I really didn't know anything about camera settings or weddings or anything. I just had my camera set on automatic and shot what I liked. So I was really square one. I didn't know anything. But they were amazing. They just took me under their wing, and Jim taught me all the camera settings and lenses and flashes and all the technical side of photography, and Roxanne taught me more of the personal and business side of things, how to work with clients, how to have good customer service, how to run a business. So between the two of them, I had an incredible mentor relationship with them, and they've actually become some of my best friends now, which is kind of funny because they're like my parents' age, but I still go and visit them on weekends, and we chat for like hours. It's crazy that we've become such good friends. Anyway, I have something to show you. The very first photo that I ever took at a wedding, when Jim handed me his camera to grab this shot right here of the two little ring bearers. So that's kind of cool that I actually have a copy of the very first wedding photo that I ever took. He obviously set all the settings for it and everything and just handed it to me and said, go grab that picture. But it grew from there, and when they retired about 2 or 3 years later, they told me that I had to start my own business, and I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing, but okay, I'll give it a shot. So I started my own business, and I did everything exactly like Jim and Roxanne did, and they used medium format film cameras, so I used a medium format film camera, and shot about 300-400 photos at a wedding. So I shot 300-400 photos at a wedding, and I did not charge very much. My very first wedding that I ever shot for my brother's best friend was $200. I know, really, $200. So obviously I was just still didn't really know what I was doing. But I grew through the film world for a couple of years. I lived in a very small community, and you really didn't have to do much advertising or anything. People just knew everybody, and so people came to me, and it was good, but it wasn't really me. It was really Jim and Roxanne's business that I was kind of taking my shot at. But then in 2007, I got a digital camera, and I absolutely fell in love. I was like, this is me. This is what I am so excited about. I could practice with different weird things and not worry about the fact that it costs like $1 to print. I mean, the medium format film was really expensive to get any proofs or anything off of. So I could really just play and learn and grow and experiment. But the downside was that I didn't have any mentor in the digital world. I didn't know anything about the community online, or I didn't know who Jasmine Star was. I mean, I really was really small town girl at that time. So I taught myself Photoshop, I taught myself how to organize my files, I taught myself all these things, but I still did like the proofing system where you print out all the proofs and then the brides go through the book and they check if they want a 5x7 or 8x10 and then they give you the book back and you have to do the order for them. And I hated that. Oh, it was just awful. It was always a mix-up. The bride would, you know, get a check from her aunt that was in the bride's name instead of in my name, so I couldn't cash things or whatever. It was just a mess. So I just knew that there was something out there that was different that I wasn't getting, you know. And in 2008, I had the most amazing day. I went to see Bob and Dawn Davis in Minneapolis for a one-day workshop. My friend Abby, who's also a Showiteer, went with me, and we were so giddy when we came out of that because we were just like laughing hysterically in the car. I mean, people probably thought we were on something because we were just like bouncing off the walls in the car on the way home. We were like this. I mean, it was crazy. We just found out so much good information that we didn't even know existed. We found out about things like SmugMug and Pictage, that we could do an online ordering system, and it was like, light bulb, this is exactly what I want. I don't want to have to do orders processing anymore. I just want people to be able to order it and get it from the lab easy. So I learned about that. I learned about you know, radio poppers and stuff like that I didn't know, and it was amazing because I felt like that day taught me that I could do this. I could be a photographer. I could totally understand everything that Bob and Dawn Davis were talking about. I mean, it was new information, but I could follow them. And I was like, this is so inspiring. I'm going to go and change the world with my photography, you know? And they also taught me about Showit. I had never heard of it before. I had just hired a guy from my Bible study group to build me a website. So I didn't actually jump onto the Showit wagon for about another year because I had just hired this guy to do a website for me. And it took me about a year to decide that it wasn't really working, that I couldn't have as much control over my website. I couldn't update things when I needed them to be updated. So when I got into the Showit world, you know, it took me about another year from the time I first signed up until I really understood the power of Showit, you know, with the plus sites. And I plugged into the community last Christmas when they did the 12 Days of Christmas thing, and it's been absolutely amazing the last 7 months, just plugging into a community and not feeling alone anymore, not feeling like I have to founder and figure everything out myself, but to be able to have that Showit group, to have you guys out there with my back, you know, and to be able to in turn be able to give information, which is such a boost for my confidence too, to know that I've come so far and am able to actually give too. So that has been so incredible for me, and I absolutely have loved getting to know you guys, and I'd love to hear how you became a photographer. Tell me your story, because I'm sure each one of us has an interesting way that this whole path and journey brought us into the same group. So let me know, and we'll talk later. Bye.